So take us through a little bit of your rise in modeling, and then we'll get into your businesses. Your first big break, I think, was Vogue in 1986.
Yeah.
And 9 years later, your Forbes magazine is ranking you the highest paid model in the world. But it wasn't a smooth trajectory the whole way. Can you give us some of the highs and lows of rising to fame?
Well, I mean, it's not that there isn't lows, but I don't know, maybe my memory's failing, or I choose not to dwell on the lows. But I think, look, for a young woman, and I moved to New York, and it was very overwhelming for me to go from a small town to, New York City. That's what I felt like. I remember not knowing how to get a cab. I couldn't figure out why I'd put up my hand and some would drive by and some would stop, until finally I realized, oh, the light. If the light's on, that means it's empty. But no one told me that. You have to learn that stuff. But this first part of modeling, there I was, and I was just a sponge. I was just an open book. I was just watching everybody. What's the photographer? I mean, well, I know what the photographer does, but what does the art director do? What does the set decorator do? Who really has the power here? Who's calling the shots? Because certainly as the model in the beginning, you're not. You are very well paid, but you stand where they tell you. You put your hand in your pocket when they tell you. You smile when they tell you. But that was okay. It was like school. I was like, okay, let me just learn and figure this all out. So I was fortunate, and the stars were in alignment. And once you do a Vogue cover in fashion, it's like the seal of approval. Like, okay, if she's good enough for Vogue, she's good enough for everybody else. And then I was fortunate to get to really travel the world and do all these other things. But it was kind of, I always see that is like the first part of my career, which is when I was in the take it all in mode. And I think this applies with anything, if you're interested and you keep your eyes open and your ears open, you learn. If you ask the right questions, if you pay attention, you learn. And at a certain point, and probably around the age of 26, 27, I was like, okay, I want to flip it around a little bit, and I want to start taking what I learned and doing my own things.